right. Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Hopefully we're live to everybody out there once again. You already know what it is. This big dog Chico. We got Adam Munsterteiger right here. Buff 'em updates. 9 work days away from game one. The Colorado Buffaloes taking on the North Dakota State. Uh, they're coming into Folsom. They're ready to play some ball. I seen on Twitter just now, they've been posting things on Twitter going all crazy, and their blog guys have been talking, their journalists, their YouTube guys have been talking smack, talking about, I even heard somebody say that we are one deep. Man, let us know what you're thinking. What's going on 9 days away? Where's Adam's head at?
Well, first off, I'm still buzzing off Friday night, being able to go out to an open practice. That was really cool to be able to see those guys go out there and compete. And in terms of North Dakota State, this falls in line with Shedeur Sanders' comment at Big 12 Media Days. We are everybody's Super Bowl. And so that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be as a program. You don't want to be coming out 4-8, but to still have that cachet, to still be that focal point for other teams, that's pretty cool. And it's not necessarily the opener that you would aspire to have if you're an FBS program, but one that Colorado seems like they're going to be pretty prepared for.
Yes, I think so too. As you know, like I said, we're 9 days away, as you see down there, of course. So this is the week, I say pre-week, the week before game week, and you're going to start seeing some installs now. Well, we might not see them, but that's what's going to start taking place at practice. You're going to start seeing installs, more concentration on the plays that we're looking to call during the game, more looks from the offense and defense scout teams to show what they're going to be facing. So even see Coach Pat Shermer saying to the scout team guys, hey, you guys can play too, but you need to be out there and play as a team and take this as a team to give us a good look. Scout team is very important. What are some of the things might be you looking at this week before we step back again that you're looking at this week to take place as far as the rounding out of the depth chart or certain players getting more reps? What are you looking for?
Just to stay healthy. You've looked across the country and you've seen programs losing a very key part of different parts of their team. And Colorado, I don't know, this is the closest thing to wood that I have around here. But that's what you needed to knock on if you're a Colorado fan, because Colorado has been very strategic, very smart about their preseason preparation, and even Travis Hunter not playing on Friday night because that was a scheduled day off. Like, they have really put a lot of emphasis in terms of getting into the season opener healthy. And that's where they look right now. Again, like, should I even mention that on this podcast? I don't know. But that's kind of where my head is at, because this defense is salty, Chico. Like, they are much better than I thought they were going to be coming into preseason camp. That's why I'm going to change my win prediction up a little bit, because I think this defense is going to be pretty darn good, and you just got to get into that season opener healthy.
So you like what you're seeing on the defense. I like it also. Yeah, definitely. And so you like in the overall mentality, depth, tenacity, them flying around the football and the coaching staff around them. You know what I mean? So, man, it's going to be a lot of bright spots out there and guys fighting for that playing time. Even in practice like this week, guys on the scout team, you should be looking to make plays and not allow the guy to block you. Give them good looks, but be that scout team guy that they have to say, be like, hey, dang, let us make this play right here today, or take him off and let's bring him over here, because he's constantly making plays, not allowing us to run through our offense or defensive schemes. That's what you have to do on scout team, and stand out, and then earn yourself a place on the field and get some playing time. That's what scout team guys need to be doing. That's what y'all should be concentrating on this week. Coach Pat Shermer also said that this is the opportunity to continue to create good habits out there on the football field and develop those habits. And I think that's what they're looking to do this week. Also coming up, looking forward to North Dakota State.
Yeah, and this is, a tough transition. Like you've got this building hype, that's coming around this program, which is exciting for everybody outside of it. But you've been going against each other for how long now? And Chico, you can tell me better than I can express here, but I would imagine this is the point of preseason camp where you just are really sick of the day in and day out routine, which is kind of why I was excited that Coach Prime and the staff decided to go down to Denver.
Well, I'll say this real quick because you just reminded me of a story. I always say that for one, in football, you're going to practice more than you play. You're going to do a lot more practicing. And during this time of fall camp, my gosh, you're going to really be practicing against the same guys constantly. And these guys, their tendencies now. You know where you could beat them at probably. You know where you're going to have to work on some things at. So, you probably need to start going against guys that you haven't went against before or that that going to give you the toughest challenge, But also you understand some guys like I'm not going against him again because this reminded me of a guy like I played with in high school going through linebacker drills. He wasn't the biggest guy on the team at all, but he seemed like the hardest head in the world and going through linebacker drills constantly. Bow, hitting like a battering ram constantly. I said, I don't want to go with that little dude. Put somebody else with me, coach. And coach always wanted to pair me with this guy. I'm like, all right, I'm going to tight end today, coach. I'll be on offense drill today, coach. Y'all can have a linebacker drill. So, you develop those things and you get tired, of course, and you looking to play and go against and see some different color jerseys over there to hit and, just take it all out on them. And now is the time. You might even see, a couple fights, but, it still should be that discipline time to where you button up everything and dot all the I's and cross the T's this week and get ready for next week, which is game week, baby.
You can taste it, right? It's so close. You can taste it, but yet we're still 10 days away at this point.
Yeah, I put 9 on there, not counting today and not counting game days. So
okay.
It's like Christmas for kids, we're gonna exit those days down as far as we can. We're gonna round to the lowest common denominator or lowest number. So I say 9. We're at 9 right now.
I'm gonna be like that little kid going to school. I'm gonna have my whole outfit laid out on my bed when I wake up for that first game, and
as you should.
I can't wait for Thursday night next.
As
Thursday.
you should. Everybody, if y'all want to get you a gold embroidered Goonsville clothing hoodie like this right here, you can go to Goonsville.com, GoonsvilleClothing.com. Just follow them on Instagram. Follow me, you'll see them on there. Get you some Goonsville, or you can go to my website, get you some too. Adam, you got some merch out there? Let them know where to go.
Well, I did a story on Vonta Bentley today.
Yeah, shout out to him.
I told him as I was leaving the interview, I said, Vonta, you have some of the best merch out there. So I'm going to get a Trust the Process hoodie. And I ordered that today as I was writing up the story. So I'm going to wear that on hopefully our next show together.
Nice. Trust the Process. Shout out to Levante Bentley out of Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson-Ola High School, of course, in his final season. Played at Clemson. Did his thing last year. Adam really high on him. Adam really liked his progress at the beginning or at the end of last season. So shouts out to Levante. Hopefully he'll continue to improve and lead this squad on the defensive side. But there are some guys at linebacker that's been showing up also, like Chainsaw Chaney, who came from FAMU. Trevor Wood still doing this thing out there. Jeremiah Brown shining in some spots. I seen Nikai Hill Green make some plays. Are we still looking at the same, and I don't want to say depth chart because Coach Prime was like, dog, don't be talking about no depth chart, dog. Y'all, we'll know. He already told you what. We'll find out what right before the game, right before kickoff. So we're not going to stress on that too much, but we'll say guys who will be playing a lot on the defensive side. Has it been worked out in your mind that the linebackers rotation is fixed right now?
Well, yeah, again, to your point that somebody could come down with a flu the day of the first game and then you've got to adjust. And I like that mentality. I don't like Coach Prime going into a press conference saying, yeah, everything's up for grabs at this point, and there's no controversy there at all. But Vonta Bentley has staved off this competition. He has gone into these practices against a lot of competition. You mentioned Hill Green, Johnny Chaney Jr., and he has maintained that spot, which is really cool for him. Last year they bring in Juju Mitchell from ASU, and he picks up the playbook pretty fast. But Vonta put his head down. He worked, and I really felt like in the second half of last season that he was Colorado's most improved player. And so for him to come back and you bring in these other transfers and he just does not relent at all. That's pretty cool. Him and Trevor Woods have seemed to build up a pretty good chemistry between the two of them. Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to that against North Dakota State. I should say earlier, my point about Coach Prime is like, it makes sense that you want to leave these positions open for grabs, but a guy like Vonta Bentley has definitely earned it.
Most definitely. And the defensive line also, these guys shaping up. I want to take this time right now, though, at this point in the broadcast, too, because I didn't say it at the beginning. Make sure you guys hit the like button right now. Hit the subscribe button. Adam has a YouTube page also. Type that in. Find him at buffstampede.com. Anywhere, everywhere. Find that. Big Dog Chico, BIWGDOWG. Find that anywhere. Subscribe, like, comment, and share this thing on Twitter. Feel free. But, we're going to be constantly coming probably twice a week during the season to give you some insights and updates, everything Colorado Buffaloes that we can. But at this moment, we would like to say to join the conversation by getting into the chat and leaving your questions and your comments so that we can get to them and answer them, get you guys a part of the conversation. Adam, what I should do, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start putting in the chat a link to where we'll probably get, one or two guests to come on from the chat and ask us a question like that. So we'll say 30 seconds or something, 30 seconds to a minute. You guys come on here, ask a question, and we'll answer it. That way, you'll feel like you're involved in the conversation. So put your questions in the chat right now. Here's one right here from Jordan Holden. You feel like Travis needs to be practicing getting reps. What you think, Adam?
Travis is, as we say, a unicorn. Travis will do what Travis needs to do, and because he goes both ways, some days he needs a day off. And it was unfortunate that one of those days off came Friday when they had an open practice, but him putting on a hat 10 times the size of his head provided more entertainment than anything we could have seen. Travis is special. Like, I have not covered a player like him. Laviska Shenault, who is with the Seattle Seahawks this preseason. He was very specific in terms of short yardage situations. He would get it every time. He would be a very good receiver. He could play a lot of roles, but Travis being able to do what he does, I'm not questioning ever what he can do. And that's what I've tried to tell national folks is that Travis will be a guy that can play 120 snaps a game and be just fine.
Which is crazy. But,
yeah,
if you've been doing that forever, it's like nothing to him. That's football to him. He doesn't come off the football field. Why? So, he feels like, why should I go to college and that change? And I understand that. I think we'll see a lot more, I won't say Travis's, but guys who will be in the mold of Travis, who just naturally are as good on the offensive side of the football as they are on the defensive side of the football. And you just got to let them rock. Just got to let them play. And some coaches won't understand that. And maybe they will after watching Coach Prime do it. and they'll say, hey, I'm open to it too for recruiting purposes or whatever, but you will have to do it, I think, in the future because so many good players play both ways coming up, and they just get stopped, in college because of a coach's preference, I think. So we're going to see more of that.
Rico Knows has been canceled by all accounts, as far as I know, but apparently, like, I got a tweet about him that he said Travis was a 3rd round pick. And I said to everybody that was tweeting about this, just ignore this person. Like, if you think Travis Hunter is a 3rd round pick.
Damn, man. I gotta find a way to say stupid stuff like that so I can get my name mentioned all across the but is that the reason why I want to get mentioned for saying stupid stuff like that?
No, you don't. You don't.
Okay, all right. So
you're doing it right, Big Chico.
All right, I appreciate it. Goodness gracious, because God, I see some of the dumbest takes on Colorado.
I know.
It's crazy, man. So I got to stiff arm some of that stuff, but you just hit me with one right there. The dude Rico Knows. Damn, I'm saying his name again. Can't pay for this publicity.
Dang it! I started this. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
but
good.
No, he had the whole rant about somebody that died and just botched his whole name for the future of him.
Oh my gosh!
And yeah. So,
all right. Well,
if you're following him, please unfollow.
Damn, that's terrible, dog. Travis is a 3rd round pick in what?
No.
I don't know what I'll pick him in the 3rd round in.
Everything in Mars, Travis Hunter is a 3rd round pick.
I'm picking Travis on Mars. Playing against the aliens. I'm picking Travis. Who you picking?
Fair enough.
Damn, Rico does not know.
He does not know ish. He does not know ish.
Damn. You got to be, as my coach used to say, you got to be dumb as a sack of rocks to think that. Travis, damn, man. That should be a headline because I don't want to let that go. I'm trying to think right now, what would Travis be a 3rd round pick in? Some stuff that I don't know nothing about probably. He is a clown, man.
Not video games and not football. We know those
not video games, not football. I wouldn't say anything athletic. Let's just keep it athletic, guys, out there in the chat. But athletically, even smarts, man, I'm picking Travis Hunter, man. And like you said, we go to Mars and play against the Munstars, because he's a Munstar on Earth. So, dang, man, that's crazy. Guys, if the O-line hold up, we can win a lot of games this year. I agree, Jose. I agree. They're going to have to hold up. Jordan Seaton's going to have to grow up real fast on that left side, protecting Shedeur Sanders' backside and his blind side. He's going to be facing some hellified pass rushers as he's getting a heavy dose of in practice, facing guys like Tajay McCourt, Quincy Wiggins, Okunlola, Hayes, and the whole squad. Come on, man. Jordan Seaton's going to have to step up. We got guys behind him and who could play on that second unit like Big Zach Owens and Peyton Kirkland and hopefully Hummel and Yakiri Walker, Tyler Brown, Tyler Johnson. All these guys are going to have to mesh well together and step up. Do you think Coach Phil Lodeho has his, the recipe for success right now with all the ingredients that he have? Does he have the right combination to put out there in that starting 5 right now?
Well, he has better ingredients in his mix than what Bill O'Boyle had last year. And so if right guard doesn't work out, go to the next guy. And so they have better depth than they did last year, and they have better top-end talent than they did last year. Now, the Jordan Seaton conundrum is going to be kind of an ongoing thing to watch this season. I think that he will – I don't want to put anything negative on him. He will have growing moments early on, is what I'll say. But that will be a progress that improves throughout the season. And by the end of it, you're going to be pretty excited about what he's going to be, and he's going to be unquestionably coming after his junior year, going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. Like, there are some guys that you just see that it factor in Jordan Seaton is that is just, unfortunately for him, the one position where you don't come in and do everything right from day one. You can't possibly. And so that's kind of where my thought process is with Jordan Seaton. But I'm excited to watch his growth. And that's what I think that Colorado fans should appreciate. Last year, Jared Christian Lichtenhan, the tank, was their left tackle coming into the season. And he had experience and looked okay early on. And then, it just became really rough for that offensive line. And those guys, unfortunately, kind of turtled as it went on. I think Jordan Seaton's going to kind of have the opposite trajectory of first game. Yeah, you might give up one sack, kind of like you did in the spring game.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a week-to-week progress for him. And by the end of it, I think Jordan Seaton's going to be a guy that people nationally are talking about.
There you go. Here we go. 9-4's finest said, Seaton would no doubt have his ups and downs, but you'd rather him have troubles early in the season and get better throughout than to struggle towards the middle and end of the season. I agree with that. Put him out there, let him ball out, let him learn, especially first game versus North Dakota State, FCS opponent that shouldn't be as, versatile and deep and athletic probably as the other teams you have faced in the Big 12. Put him out there, start him day one. He's been here since January. He's learning the playbook. He's bonding with Shador and the other guys. It's been a foregone conclusion if he does what he's supposed to do, that he'll be that starting left tackle. That's the reason why they brought him in, to protect Shador Sanders as a 5-star recruit. The other guys will have to gel. The guy next to him will be important too. Justin Mayers at the left guard position, or whoever's there to help communicate with the young fella, keep his head straight if needed, and just keep him on the right page, because in those trenches right there, I've been in situations where, playing tight end, and you look down in there and some guys' eyes are this big and you're like, oh, damn, he's about to get blown. Ready, whoop, he's blown up and in the backfield already. So you're going to have to see and monitor those things as a veteran player, I think.
Yeah, no question. And again, like I've said, the floor of this offensive line has been risen so much. We don't know what the ceiling is, but I think that Jordan Seaton is kind of the barometer for that ceiling of this group, right? As a left tackle. And if he is, by the end of the season, the second half of the season, what we think he is, then his offensive line will have been a success story, I think, for Phil Lodeholt and Coach Prime and the staff.
Yeah, I think so too. I another thing I think is key for the offensive line is what's going on in the offensive line room, where they're watching film and learning and studying and understanding what's going on and seeing understanding what they're seeing, Coach Lodeholt seeing and hearing what they're saying and things of that nature, and then working with them there in the mind so that they can understand when these blitzes come, how we're going to handle it, how we're going to communicate it, are we going to pass it off? Am I going to take the outside guy or the inside guy? Let's all be sure on that. And that's why I think you will also see tight ends in that offensive line room along with running backs, because you have to get those blocking schemes down and be on the same page. It's no different than being on defense and you got a defensive back running a different coverage than the linebackers running, then everything is all messed up. Same thing on offense. You can't be having running back running a blocking scheme here when the line is going there. So that's key in that offensive line room where they're learning on the board and watching film. Here we go. Another question.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. How tight end Smalls and company? I think they will be surprised this year. What you think, Adam?
I don't know how much the tight end is going to be featured in this offense when you have Shador Sanders, a Heisman candidate, and the type of receivers that they do. You've got to have 4 of those guys out there. When you talk about Jimmy Horn, LaJohntay Wester, Will Shepard, Travis Hunter, and now you start talking about after Friday when you see Terrell Timmons Jr. out there and Cordell Russell, you start to go down the list of these offensive players at the receiver position, and it's like, why would you put a tight end out there too much? When you need a tight end, you put a tight end out there, and I think that's going to be kind of the case for Colorado this year. I had a chance to sit down with Sam Hart at CU's media day event, and he seems to be like totally bought in. He's a local kid, seems really excited. He had a hamstring injury early on during camp, and that allowed Savell Smalls to get in there and work with the first team offensive line, first team offense. And, Morgan Pearson's working with threes. So you've got some capable guys there, but that just is not the position I look to when I think about the 2024 Buffs and their success or lack thereof. I think you'll see those guys be bit players, and I hope that because of the success of all those receivers, that when Sam Hart and Savell Smalls comes out there, that they can kind of do that, not similar to Mikey Harrison out of the slots, but similar in the sense that other teams have been focused on those receivers so those tight ends can get a little run. That's kind of how I see it playing out. What about you?
I think they can be a surprise in, situationals. I would say in the red zone, moving the chains here and there, throwing it out to them in the flat off play action, crossing routes, short routes where they can catch and probably turn up the field. You might even see Sam Hart sneak down the field on a couple seam routes, depending on the formations. But I know Coach Prime said he would rather not do that with any tight end and having them in passing situations. But I'll say this, Coach Prime. What about your guy, O'Shea Sharp? What you think he'll have to say about that, Coach Prime, if you don't want tight ends out there catching passes? O'Shea Sharp will have something to say about that. Kelsey will have something to say. Gates, Tony Gonzalez, Big Algie Crumpler. Shout out to him. They'll have something to say about that at the tight end.
I forgot who I was talking to here. Of course, right. Chico is going to go to bat for the tight ends.
I'm holding my hand up, baby. Throw the ball to us. We want to eat too. Even if he toss us a little bone out there, in the flat, let us turn up and run over a DB every once in a while just to get up and do the Michael Irvin, move the chains. That's what we want. If we're going to be blocking for you, baby, throw us a bone. But I think they will be pretty good this year at doing their thing, setting the edge and catching whatever is thrown to him when it's thrown to him. I'll tell you that much. Don't be the guy like I was one game where you call for the ball and then, bam, they throw you one to hit you right in the chest and you look like you're sorry that you're like, oh, damn. That only happened one time. That's why I remember it, guys. All right, so
but I'm happy for Savell Smalls and Morgan Pearson, and I hope they make an impact because that is a selfless move, right? Going from defense to offense and kind of figuring out a new position. And I would say Brett Barloni seems like he's got high football IQ, and those guys are pretty lucky to have him.
Yeah, he was. I think he was at UNLV. No, I'm sorry, Nevada, before coming to Jackson State, and he was the offensive coordinator, and he worked with the tight ends and wide receivers there also at his time during with Coach Prime and Jackson State. Let me see, a Stars podcast. All right, shout out to a Stars podcast and everybody else in the chat. Let us know where you're checking in from in the chat. Put your city in the chat. Put your state in the chat. Put your country in the chat if I can get it out. Put your country in the chat. And you can get your questions asked like a Stars podcast right here. Bowl game for Colorado this year. I'll say this. That's the goal. At least that's the first goal. Get 6 wins and get to the bowl. And I wouldn't even say that. The goal is to win every game when they come about. And it's starting with the first game, North Dakota State. Win that one. Win Nebraska. Win Colorado State. And go on like that. Go on to Big 12 play. I think we can start the season 5-0. It'll be tough. It's going to be some tough games in there, some tough stretches. But I think we can beat Baylor and, of course, beat those first 3 teams I'm sorry, to start 4-0 at least, 4-0 at least to start the season. That's what I think that'll get us at least to the bowl game by winning a couple more games later on in the season. What you think, Adam?
When I was going out to Big 12 Media Days in Las Vegas, I wanted to do just a little bit more research on other Big 12 teams. And so I walked around the airport trying to find a good magazine. I found a Phil Steele magazine. So I get on the plane and I open it up, and he has Colorado going 5-7 this year. And my whole flight going out to Vegas, I kept thinking, I have covered quite a few 5-7 football teams at Colorado. Unfortunately, 5-7 teams that kept me home for the holidays. I didn't get a chance to go cover a bowl game. And I kept thinking about those teams and this team. And there's no question, Chico, this is 5-7. Give me a break. Like last year, there were some tough losses. They were a mess in the trenches at times. And this year's team is not going to be that. So they're going to go 6 wins above that. I think I went into preseason camp kind of thinking 7-5, but I think with the defense being a little bit more bullish on them, I would say 8-4 at this point. But to think this is not a bowl team, you're not paying attention.
I'll say this: what do you think that a lot of people's reservations for Colorado to be a 5-7 type team? Do you think it's because of the schedule? Because I will say this: like I said, 4-0 start, excuse me, will be tough anyway because of this schedule, how it's set up. And then moving on later on into conference play is going to really get tough and tougher. Do you think it's because of people are just fixated on teams in the Big 12 and think that we can't put together a squad like Coach Prime did, learning from what he had last year and then supplementing that with the talent that he has? Do you think they're just fixated on that and thinking that it can't be done? Will their minds have to be changed, by the 4th game or 5th game or whatever? Why do you think is that? Is it because they don't think that the talent is there? What is it? Why would they say 5-7? Because I'm seeing talent all over the field.
Yeah, I don't think they're fixated on the schedule. Like Colorado's 2024 schedule is no joke. You really have to strap it up every week, starting from that opener against North Dakota State, going up to Colorado State, where, again, to Shador's comments, that is going to be their Super Bowl. So you're going to have that. You're going to face that every week. But what they faced in the Pac-12 last year, honestly, especially given the quarterback play in the conference last year in the Pac-12, was tougher, I think, than what Colorado is going to face this year. Now, there are a lot of coin flip type of games going into the Big 12. I think what folks are fixated on is that, okay, Colorado got all this hype early on. Game day, Fox noon kickoff was there. And then they lost a bunch of games in a row. And I think they're fixated on that versus paying attention to what Colorado built through the transfer portal. And so those of us, you and I, and those of us that cover Colorado on a daily basis, see that influx of talent and realize that this is not a 5-7 team. This is a 8-win, 7-win, 9-win, 10-win team. But because of last year's kind of disappointment towards the end, I think that's what people hang on to. And you don't really have to spend much more time on that nationally, because anything you talk about Colorado is going to get clicks, right? And so that's my thought on it. It doesn't make sense to me where people would underestimate Colorado the way that they have. The over-under in Vegas is 5.5, and that seems ridiculously low. Again, I've covered a lot of 5-7 teams at Colorado, and this is not one of those. This is going to be a bowl team this year. I've never been more confident in saying that covering Colorado. You there, Chico? We can field some questions from the fans here. Let's see here. Xavier Weaver might make the Cardinals roster. That's awesome. I saw him return a long kickoff yesterday. That's cool. There he is.
Man.
There he is.
Hold on. Can I get in here? So we lost Big Dog, of course. You're going to lose Big Dog. It seems like every time I hear. All right, let me see if I can get back in here, guys. Or at least you can hear me. Maybe my camera going to be just like that. Unbelievable, but.
We can hear you just fine, though.
Okay, did you get to that one right there? I pray Charlie goes off for his first few games, and people saying, why do they have so? Why is it so hard for people to believe in Charlie and such? What you think?
He's a pretty small guy, right? I think, everybody kind of wants to cheer for that guy, but then you're a fan of the Colorado Buffaloes, and so you want to go 12-0. And a guy like Dallin Hayden transfers in from Ohio State after averaging over 5 yards per carry there, and you kind of want him to win the job. But I think, myself included, like, you come around on Charlie Offerdahl because part of the issue this year is knowing your assignments, chemistry, pass protection, and Charlie's going to be a guy that's pretty solid in those regards. So I'm going to do my depth chart predictions on buffstampede.com, and there's nothing that tells me I shouldn't put Charlie Offerdahl number 1 on that list for running backs right now.
Yeah, a tough room though, man. You got Charlie Davis,
yeah.
and the rest of those guys. Coach Prime just praised Michael Welch at practice, had him break it down, saying how steady he is. So, man, you got 2 freshman running backs with 3 veterans. How are they going to manage that? Who's going to possibly redshirt? You don't want to waste nobody. Hopefully no one gets hurt. This is all if everybody is there too. Duncan said we will go at least 10-2. I work for the team and see it firsthand. All right, scam Duncan.
Nice.
I hope so, man. That's what we're looking for. I think the team can gel together and go get to a 10-2. I'm not as high on, as I was asking Adam before I was interrupted. I'm not as high on all the other schools, but then again, I'm not covering all of the other schools each and every day. So, I can't really say, but I am looking at what we have. And I know that if everything comes together, man, this team can be very, very good as far as the talented pieces. Because for one, you got to have talent on the team. That's one thing. You got to have talent. I don't care what coaching staff you have. You got to have guys to coach. I was just looking at Alabama's practice earlier today. And goodness gracious, you just look at the guys going through the drills, and all of them are like prototype. Oh, you can tell he, whatever, but prototype. They fit the mold. They fit the bill, So, hey, man, just got to continue to put in that work. Getting back to Charlie, I think Charlie going to surprise a lot of people who have a problem with walk-ons. He's going to be a guy that's going to go out there and, when given the opportunity, I think he's going to make plays. Only thing with running backs is what can get you pulled out probably more than anything, these 2 things right here. And y'all probably already know in the chat what I'm about to say. Not picking up the correct guy in pass protection, not knowing where to go, giving up sacks, and fumbling the ball, putting the ball on the ground. So that's like as they say, the caveat. If whatever running back is out there, if we see them, whether they're starting or not, if we see them put the ball on the ground, they coming out the game. And we might not see them again because you got other guys up in that rotation going to start. and you might get lost in the shuffle then.
Yeah. No question about it. Like, I think that the running back position is going to be just fine as long as they get that push from the offensive line. And that was one of my main takeaways from Friday's open practice was that the interior of the offensive line was definitely moving guys a little bit differently than they were a year ago. Now it's 1v2s. But Colorado has such good depth on the D line. That was an encouraging sign. And I think that the ground game with the running backs that they have in that room is going to be just fine. Again, as long as they provide those holes.
Right. Well, let me see a couple other questions we can get to before we get up out of here. But Adam, for all the people who like to read articles and not just listen to the videos and things of that nature, and also they can listen to this audio too. You got to break that down for them. Also,
Yeah.
let them know about the audio and the articles.
Go to buffstampede.com. We're part of the 24/7 Sports Network, and we basically cover Colorado from the football side, the basketball side, as well as recruiting. And I'm on X at AdamCM777.
And about the audio again.
Oh, audio, Buff Stampede podcast. But yeah, go hit up Buff them updates on Chico's YouTube channel for your listening needs. And then we put the playlist together on our YouTube channel as well.
All right. Let's check that out. Also check out on Facebook, guys. If you're on Facebook, you can follow at Big Dog Chico Sports Talk on Facebook. It's not just Colorado's on there. It's all type of sports talk on the Facebook page. But you can join the group also at Coach Prime in Colorado. That's the group that I created way back then when he first started. But Coach Prime in Colorado, you can find all type of content on there and share your stuff and things of that nature. Because, Facebook will pay you now for posting your things. If you guys build up your website or page or whatever it is, you can get paid on Facebook for posting and engaging. So y'all check that out and get you some. Also, like you saw before I went out, get you a Goonsville hoodie when you get you a chance and check them out. Let me see. Chad Griffin said, let me go. Now Big Dog and Adam from Atlanta. Now I'm looking at 11-1 this season. Stamp it. If you
I
look
hope so. I hope so.
Adam, if you're looking at the schedule, Adam, what's the team? And I think I know who you're going to say. I think I know what everybody should say. But what's the team that probably worries you the most? That you have circled on your schedule. Like if we can beat them, we know we're going to go into the game as underdogs. But if we can beat them and upset them, man, that'd be huge.
Probably Utah. Yeah, but Kansas State is the first ranked team currently projected for Colorado, and so that game will be big as well. I think if you can start out strong and beat Kansas State, then all of a sudden you gain a lot of momentum. But yeah, Utah, they have that Polynesian pipeline in their backyard, and they just are so solid in the trenches. It is tough to play Utah every year. Obviously, they have Cam Rising back quarterback this year, so that would be the one team that, yeah, it's crazy. ESPN's FBI actually has Colorado with a better chance to beat them than they do a lot of other teams this year, which is kind of surprising to me because I think Utah is the toughest team on the schedule.
Okay. Somebody said no team if you look at the talent. Utah got a lot of talent on that offense and defensive line, as Adam said. Some athletes back there. They recruit well, too, and getting the athletes to come out there in the defensive backfield and running backs and things like that. Rosecrans out there in L.A. Shouts out to L.A. and Rosecrans Board TV. It would be nice to see Jimmy Horn in a Debo Samuel package in the backfield in a 21 personnel. Setting the shotgun using motion, etc., being creative with explosive plays and misdirection. Honestly, I agree with that in ways to where you can use your weapons like Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr., Wester, even Cam Michael guys with that extra speed burst and stuff, get them in jet packages and jet handoff sweep situations is what I would like to see. Any special packages you think of, Adam?
Yeah, I think Travis Hunter has an arm that most folks don't realize that he actually could be a pretty successful quarterback if he wanted to be. He is. I would love to see Travis Hunter attempt a pass this year. Now, Jimmy Horn had that last year and it worked out well, so that worked out well for him. But I want to see Travis Hunter attempt and complete a pass this fall at Folsom Field.
I'd like to see that too. I saw in his documentary, I think it was like an overtime documentary or something like that in high school, where he said, I play offense, I play defense, I could play quarterback if I want. I could play anywhere. And I believe him. You know, like I said, I would pick Travis if we going on the moon. If they said we going we got to play the Munsters tomorrow, pick you one athlete, let me get Travis. Take that. You feel me? So yeah, let me back to another question before we get up out of here. We got a few more minutes. If Adam can stay on, how long you got, Adam? You got a few more minutes?
Whatever you need, I got you.
Okay, no secondary in Big 12 will be able to stop CU. It's gonna be tough. I was gonna ask you this since you mentioned Kansas State, though. They're coming to Colorado. Of course, Dylan Edwards coming back home. They got some guys on their team that can really ball out. We go into that game. I think that's I don't have the schedule in front of me, but is that the 5th game? Or
Yep, it is. Yeah,
that's the 5th game.
Yep.
Okay, so we're at home that game, and by my prediction, Chico says, Chico knows. I'm gonna start doing that. Chico knows. Now, Chico knows that they'll be 4-0 at this moment right here. Kansas State coming into Colorado. Dylan Edwards coming back home. Anticipation for that game will be off the charts. They'll be ranked at that point. How with Dylan coming back, and I don't want to make it just about him but I do know he'll be in that backfield. He'll be wanting to make plays against his old teammates. You know, what do you think about that game again? As we talk about that a little bit more, and Dylan Edwards coming back to Folsom Field.
You're talking about 5th game of the season. I would think by that point, Colorado's improved rushing attack would have showed itself, and by that point, Colorado fans hopefully will have kind of let some of that stuff go. I enjoyed Dylan when he was around. He seemed like a good young man, and that game against TCU was one of those things I'll remember forever. You know, just seeing his ability with those screen passes to be electric, and he is electric in the open field, but he's not an every down back. And Colorado seems to have recruited every down backs into this roster, and so that part of it makes it feel like it will be less of a non-story by then. And I don't want to hear those boos towards Dylan Edwards and his family, because his family is a great family. His father played for K-State, so you know that's kind of going back home, and so that's kind of what I hope. Yeah, that's what I hope. I think he will make a couple plays against the Colorado Buffaloes because he's a really good player, like he just is, and that's why it kind of was a gut punch when he transferred. But Colorado, to their credit, was able to bring in some other talented guys, you know, this offseason. And so it becomes less of an issue about Colorado versus Dylan, and it becomes more of I hope that he's doing okay.
Exactly.
Mama, there goes that man. There's that face again. All right. Of course, we have the technical difficulties out here. That's what happens. I appreciate you guys coming in. This is a live show. What'd you say, Adam?
Every time we do a live, there seems to be some technical issues, and it's
because we setting this thing on fire, man. We setting it on fire. Chat going crazy. They loving the show. Goodness gracious, it's all right.
I love it. It's a good time always.
All right, let me see. Let me make sure I mute that one. I'm doing it right. Okay, to get back to a couple more questions, guys. Wish y'all the best except week 5. Exactly. And like you said, I want to say this. You said no booze towards Dylan when he come in here. That shouldn't be the case. We should show love to Dylan Edwards. He put up nothing but numbers for Colorado and was a great representation of the program and his family. And he went back to K-State where his dad played ball at. As he said on Prime Parents, y'all can check out the interview still on Prime Parents right now. He said that he played at K-State and he would have loved for his son to go there. And then now he had the opportunity to do it, and now he's there. So shout out to Dylan Edwards. Real deal. Y'all check out DylanRun.com and get you some. Because I need to get me some water. El Hombre Negro said he could be at every down because Kansas State is not throwing the football almost every play. K-State is more balanced attack. All right, we're going to see how it is. You know, Dale going to hear it, big dog. UCF and Texas Tech, that's going to be tough games on the road. Very tough games on the road. I've been to UCF, haven't been to Texas Tech before. That's Lubbock, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. I did play football for a short time in arena football out in West Texas. I know that football is major out there, and they have a lot of money to put behind it. How can Colorado go into those hostile environments and get wins against a two good football teams?
Colorado is more talented than those two football teams, so take care of business, go on out there, and we'll see as we get closer to those games. But I would think that I'm going to predict Colorado to win each of those games. And
nice.
I think it's exciting for Colorado to go back in the Big 12 and kind of go out to some of these more passionate fan bases. I have never been out to UCF. You said you have.
Yeah.
I just booked my travel out there the other day. So I just don't think that it's not about the other teams on the schedule when you look at it. And I've talked about it being coin flip games pretty much throughout. But if Colorado, if their offensive line is what we think it can be, if their defense is what we saw last Friday at that open practice in Denver, then, you know, these games are going to be fine. It's good. There's going to be a lot of nail biters out there going on the road because you've got a different environment. But really, I'm more bullish on this Colorado team, if you can't tell, than I've been in a very long time.
Yeah, 100%. Tough game, yes. Todd T. Webster said, I got us winning both of them. UCF might sound like a semi-home game as many guys from that area we got on the squad. Yes. A lot of guys going to be down there ready to prove and ready to play in front of family for the first time since they've been in Colorado. You know, some families couldn't make the trip out to Colorado, so they're coming to Florida, Central Florida to be exact. Jimmy Horn Jr. and LeJontay Wester and Jalen Wester and a host of other guys from down there in Florida. So, yeah, they'll be playing in Orlando. So that'll be like a home game for a lot of guys. Easier said than done. We gave so many games away last year. If we can't stop the run, it's over. Well, that's what we built for this year, is to stop the run, because they saw the same games that you saw, and they coached those games, and they realized what we could have done to win those games.
Yeah, the depth on this football team is so much different than a year ago. You talk about Shane Cokes and Amari McNeil being the top two defensive linemen, and now they're just part of this big conglomerate, really, of 8 scholarship defensive linemen that are going to be really good. And so that part of it, the trenches has upgraded so much that's why I feel so differently than I did last year.
Yeah, me too. I think the trenches, huge upgrade. Cornerbacks with Carter Stottmeyer now looking like he's going to be playing more cornerback. I feel a lot better about the cornerbacks depth than I did before, thinking that he was going to be just positioned at the safety spot. Now you have Carter Stottmeyer, Colton Hood, DJ McKinney, Preston Hodge, and Travis Hunter, 5 guys who I think, you know, can all rotate and be on the field, you know, before even going to Ivan Yates, who I'm not forgetting, and the other young guys. So you have a lot of young guys brought in that can now redshirt, I think, but really play those 5 to 6 guys in the defensive backfield at the cornerback spot.
Yeah, you have so much more depth across the board. Really, I mean, you can go to every position aside from maybe tight end, and really get to the point where you're just listing names off, and it's going to get kind of obnoxious. But it really is true. This a year ago we would talk about each position, talk about a couple guys, and now you got to talk about 4 or 5.
Got to. So, hey, guys, sorry for the delay and all the technical difficulties or whatever, but according to the chat gonna get me right. Chat said they're gonna donate to get me right. They're gonna find out the problem to get me right. I wish I knew, other than just, probably being out here so far. I don't know, but we'll get it right. If not, we're going to continue going and trucking and moving forward. Anyway, that's what it's about, progress, baby. As long as we're moving a little bit, that's all we need to do. Get 4 yards at a time, we'll get us a first down and a touchdown, right?
We're getting 8 yards a time, Chico. I don't know
Exactly.
what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Give it to me. First down. We're moving forward, baby. Let's go. All right. Getting ready for the game coming up, man. Last subject, I'm just saying, first game going to be packed. Celebrities out there, the whole nine. I'm not going to reveal whether I'll be there yet. You guys might just have to see now, because at first it was 100% no, I wasn't coming to the first game. Now that thing is that needle is moving since this past weekend. So we shall see. So if you do see,
whenever you come out, Chico, I gotta buy you a meal somewhere.
Hey, wherever. I'm down for that. Now, anytime you want to talk about some eating, I'm down for that. So definitely, here we go. Y'all keep thinking about last season. What happens last season? Please do it. Okay, that's T Webster getting on them. But yeah, first game gonna be packed, guys. Stay tuned for more. Shouts out to Pasta J's, the Sink, and every place out there on Pearl Street that's going to be getting busy. I can't wait to see it whenever I'm there. So stay tuned, guys. As far as this week on the channel, y'all stay tuned for Prime Parents. We got some cooking up for you. If you watched Uncle Neely and I last night, you would have heard that Goldberg will be on Prime Parents soon. So check that out. And some other stuff I can't say right now, but just stay tuned on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe to buffstampede.com right now. Get you a good deal on that, as they're always running deals to where you can save money and subscribe each and every month and get all of the news and insights that drops before anybody else does. I'm a subscriber. I appreciate it. I love the news that comes out, and I share it before anybody else, and people think that I'm a guru. So, hey, I'll take it. Appreciate it, Adam. All right. Thank you guys for coming out. We got more coming. Y'all stay tuned. Peace and love. We're going to be up and about this thing. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah. Buff 'em updates, guys. That's another one. Stay tuned for more. Episode 21 going to be special.